You ever have you ever have those things that you get excited about? Um, I don't know, an invention, an idea for a book, some kind of other creative thing, like you want to create a video game or um, maybe start a business, or you get excited about some kind of skill. You want to learn how to do, you know, calligraphy. I don't know, whatever it is, um, or learn a language, something like that. And you think how cool would it be to have that, to do that, only to find out that it's freaking hard. Like it's really hard. And it looks so glamorous to see that, oh wow, that person knows 5 languages. Oh wow. Look at the art that person produces. Look at that person. They make 10 million a year in business. Look at that, right? And we can look at that, and then we see this beautiful thing that they have, that they can produce. They have this result, this beautiful result. But when you thought of the thing, whatever it was that you were excited about in that moment, or when you look at them and you see the $10 million a year or the whatever it is, you didn't stop to think about how damn hard it would be. Like, you ever had that? And then let's say you get started on that thing, and maybe you got a little momentum and you're excited, and it's like, oh man, this is so fresh and so cool, and like you're like on cloud nine, right? You're just like flying high. You couldn't be more excited about it. And then the reality of everything kind of sets in. There's a name for that. I don't know. Some people know that there's a name for that. A lot of people don't know there's a name for it. There's even a book by the name of that name, but it's called The Dip. And and I can't tell you how many times in my life that when that dip came, it's like you have this idea, and it's like, oh man, I could do this, and I'm getting this momentum, and this sounds so fun, and I'm bringing together all these ideas, and it's like flowing, and I got my notepad, and I'm writing down all this cool stuff, I'm doing all this, and then you start to move in that direction, and it's like, whoa, this is freaking hard. Boom, right? And it just comes crashing down. The reality of it all comes crashing down. I remember when I was 21, 22, I think 22, getting involved in some MLM scheme because I was a stay-at-home dad at that time, right? And legit company. I'm not trying to knock them. I'm not even going to say their name, but because I actually still shop from them, so I actually think they're legit. But the point being that these people who had sold me on it, I mean, they're making $15,000-$20,000 a month, residual income, all this kind of stuff. Get to pick your hours, all that. Like, dude, that sounds amazing. I want that. Um, and then you get to work, and now you got to make those phone calls, and you got to call up friends, and you got to try and sell them on this thing. And then I'm 22 now. I got to call people who are my mom's friends, who are in their 40s and 50s, and I got to try and sell them on this thing, and then looking at me like I'm some stupid punk kid who's one of them suckers that fell for it. Um, and then I opened up my own business at one point in time. It was like a gaming LAN center, mostly for like birthday parties and stuff. And I got it open, and it was a nightmare because I had to go through the city and go with these regulations, and they kept throwing more and more stuff at me, and it was like really screwed up how they like dragged me along and dragged it out and just drained me. But I got it open, and then yeah, I got to that part, but then it was like, now I have a business, and I gotta learn marketing, and I gotta you know be kind of salesy, and I gotta come up with protocols, and it's like, whoa, like, this is crazy. And then, so there's been these times in my life where I've had these ideas and these things, and get to a certain part, and it's like, it's like, whoa, I don't, this sucks now. This is way too hard. And, and so that's the dip. And the thing is like, when you understand that everybody that you look at who's successful in whatever it is that they've they've acquired, they went through that dip. They had that same exact experience. And when you're in it and you're feeling the weight of it and the difficulty of it, you're thinking there's no way they felt this. There's no way they felt this. It's impossible. I can't do it, you know? It feels like this must be different. They don't know. They didn't have to go through this stuff. And then oftentimes you actually find out they went through like way worse, you know? And the thing is like the dip, it, depending on how you look at it, you could actually look at it as though it's a blessing and it's a gift, because of the fact that everybody is going to experience the dip, and so many of them are going to dip when the dip comes. They're going to get out. They're done, right? Because of that, you have an opportunity, and it's just going to come down to your resolve, your grit, and you know, these like soft skills that you don't have maybe up to this point because you were never taught them. You know, I wasn't taught grit and resolve and resilience and, you know, believing in myself when things got hard. When I went to school, my mom, nobody taught me these things, right? These are things that I've had to work on and develop in my own life. And right now I'm on day three of my 30-day YouTube challenge, and I'm feeling it, man. Already on day 3, and there's a part of me that's like going, whoa, what the heck am I gonna do? How am I gonna get through this? And I was thinking about that today, and it's like the dip is hitting hard right now because I'm just thinking, geez, I got 27 more days to go, and how am I gonna do it? And I'll tell you how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it through grit and resolve. I'm gonna do it because I made a promise to myself I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it because I know that I'm not the only person that's ever felt that. There's a lot of YouTube channels out there that started and did, you know, 1, 2, maybe 10, maybe a couple dozen videos, and then they bail. That's the norm. It's not common that someone gets to 100 videos, 200, 1,000 videos, things like that. It's not common that someone's willing to endure those early struggles. Like, I don't know how to edit videos, man. My videos so far have had like no edits, basically. I don't have all that stuff to make it all fancy, and that weighs on me. You know, I just coming at this, just trying to speak from the heart and deliver things as best I can, as honestly as I can, and you know, I don't know what's going to happen. And that's also part of the dip, right? You think to yourself like, well, geez, that's a lot of work. What if this doesn't work out? And you do this like cost benefit analysis ahead of time before you get through that issue, you know, like get past the dip. And when you get past that and you start climbing, you get like really past the hardest part. Things start to like pick up. And you know, the thing is, like, there's not too many areas of my life that I could say that with any authority. I can give a couple that I can say that with, but you know, it's funny because it's like, it's a thing that makes absolute and total sense to me. And it's a thing that I'm operating my YouTube channel out of a sense of faith. I'm doing it out of faith because like, I know that is true. I've felt the dip many times in my life. I've bailed when the dip showed up many times in my life. I know countless people who have done the same exact thing. I know that not everybody succeeds, and it's not because only a small sliver of people are smart and the rest are dumb. I know that. I know that. I know it's just because they worked hard, they stayed committed, they stuck through it, even when it got really hard, right? I know that. And I know that doesn't guarantee my success. I know that too. But I know that if I never get through the dip, that guarantees I will never have success. And so here I am, day 3, 27 days left to go. I'm in the dip, stressing out. I really do feel the stress of it. I'm literally asking myself, am I even having fun? Is this still worth it if I'm not having fun? Um, and then I have to like give myself a talking to and say, yeah, it is worth it. Shut up, do it. um, and the thing is, I don't know where it's gonna lead. I have no idea. Um, I don't have a clue where it's gonna go in my life. But there is something magical about that dip, getting through it, getting to the other side, um, and and having achieved that. And whether or not it's like some kind of monetary gain or if it's just some character gain, there's something about that, man. Like when you get to lay your head on your pillow at night and you know that that day you did what you could do that day to get through the dip. When you do that, it feels. I've done that many times. These battles, these little wins like that. I've done that. It always yesterday felt like day 2 of the challenge. Day 2 felt like that. I was stressing out in the morning. Woke up like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, and I did it. I got a video up, right, and it felt so good. The weight of the world was off my shoulders, and I was battling all the procrastination, all the overthinking, all the self doubts, all everything all day till I finally got it done and up on the internet and up on YouTube. What are you waiting for? What is that thing that you tell yourself, man? I need to just stay committed to something because I bailed too soon. My wife and I both throughout our marriage, we bailed too soon on things, and we look back like, dang, if we just would have stuck with that. If we just would have stuck with that, we could see, because Timmy over there, he stuck with it, and look at him. Oh my gosh, you know that would have been nice. But we bailed all the time, and we jumped from this to this to this. Whenever this got hard, switched to this. It's crazy. But the magic sauce is in the sticking to it. So what are you waiting for? Um, that you need to get started on, and where like, have you ever felt that dip? I want to know. Like, what's your experience with that kind of stuff? Um, yeah, I'd love to hear if you have any tips on it. Maybe you've gotten through the dip. Maybe the dip's not even a problem for you, man. Maybe I see these people, these dudes, and women, on YouTube and all over the internet that are like, I make 8 figures, blah blah blah, and this is my daily routine, and I'm the man, and I'm this, and and they do all this stuff, and it's like, all right, that's really cool. Um, like they act like they don't ever feel the dip, and they're just like invincible warriors who have like no emotions whatsoever, and I don't know. Um, that's not me. That's not me. I'm not that guy. Uh, it can be really hard for me. So, yeah, share if you got any tips. Let me know. If you struggle with it, put it out there. I talked about this in another video. It's super important that when you have things like that in your life, these struggles, any shame or whatever, you need to talk about them. Now, maybe putting it in YouTube comments isn't really the way you want to go, and I totally get that. Here I'm putting all my stuff out there on YouTube videos. Maybe I'm crazy for that. I don't really know. But I empathize, and I love to hear the comments. So I plan to put a book, maybe a couple books down in the description so you could check them out if you want, if you're interested in them. And yeah, until next time, take care.